Hey, what's up, Doc? It's cold out.
It's damn cold out.
We've been in here for like 15 minutes waiting for the car to heat up.
The thing is, every time we're like, fuck, it's cold. God, it's with the wind chill today, it's like 1 degree in Springfield. But we say it's cold, and then like the third comments could be like, motherfucker, I live in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's fucking cold as shit out here, but it's not as cold as it was when I was in Chicago a few weeks ago. So we went to go see the A Monster Calls.
Yes, we did. We have different opinions on it.
Pretty much. I mean, sort of. Man, do you want to go first?
Sure. I thought it was actually an incredible movie. It's a fucking stone cold bummer.
I joked on the way out, I'm like, that's like the third Grief movie I've seen in a row.
No, it's a stone cold bummer. But I think it was beautifully told. I thought it was really well acted. I thought it's got a couple animation bits in it that I thought were breathtaking.
Those were great.
And like for a movie that centers on a child actor that are generally speaking unreliable as shit. Like this kid was honestly great. Like especially like he was, and on the scale of child actors, I mean he was dealing with some pretty heavy shit for a child actor. But I thought he did a great job. I will admit, like, I have no familiarity with the source material.
Neither do I.
At all. And I know it's a book of some kind. And I'm sure there are people that are watching this that are fans of it or grew up with it or whatever. I have no idea. I spent half the movie sitting there thinking, besides it being a great movie and being honestly enthralled, but I kept having moments I was like, so this kid's mom has cancer, she's gonna die, and then he and his tree friend are gonna go to fucking space and find a talking raccoon.
Yeah, I was thinking that a lot in the movie too.
just I want one like thing at the end of credits. I just want him to go, I am Groot.
Well, given that the monster, they gave him an ass in this movie, I was waiting for him to shit Lincoln Logs at some point. Come on, movie. Be 5 years old for just a second.
They did give him an ass, but it's one of those things, like, I understand, like, the animator's urge to do that, because when you're building musculature for something, like, those ass muscles are pretty dependent on how you walk. So when you're trying to make a human figure and you're adding musculature of any kind, it's hard to not do that.
Sure.
But it was like,
but just
he's got an ass.
Just give him a dick while you're at it. I mean, he might. There were a lot of vines hanging off of him.
There really was.
This is a movie that I can't say I was a huge fan of. And I know I've seen what the reviews are like for it. I haven't read any reviews, but I know the general consensus is fairly positive. I know I'll probably be in a small boat on this one, but that doesn't mean I think that this movie is bad. That doesn't even mean that I don't understand why it's getting good reviews. I get it. It's a good-looking movie. The acting is, for the most part, fine. The animation sequences are... They're like you said. They're breathtaking. They're the highlight of the movie, honestly.
They really are. Yeah.
But it's a movie that I've seen this kind of movie before many times. Like you have it's a movie about a kid who's going through some shit. His mom is on her deathbed. He's got issues with his grandmother. He's getting bullied at school. So throughout all of this, there's a fantastical creature that's summoned and is helping him out through the whole thing as like this grieving process. I've seen this before, and
I think we've all seen it before.
No, we have. We have, and I could say that about plenty of movies that I've highly recommended on the site, that I've seen this kind of movie before. But sometimes I don't care, or maybe it's the kind of movie I like a lot, so I'm still invested in it anyway. In this case, I was spending a lot of this movie thinking, like, I'd kind of rather be watching Pan's Labyrinth than this, or Never Ending Story, or hell, even in terms of a kid and a giant beast, even like the Iron Giant or something like that. Like there's a lot of things I would rather be watching than this movie, because this movie really wasn't doing much for me to set itself aside from other movies I've seen that are like it. It was just kind of, yeah, this is one of those types of movies. And it never went beyond that for me. It's not a bad film. Another thing about the movie that I was having a hard time with through the whole thing was the kid was good. The performance is absolutely solid. He's an interesting looking kid in that when he grows up, he'll probably have a solid character actor career behind him.
Yeah.
He looks like a 10-year-old John Hurt.
He really does. Like, you just like a 10-year-old kid with just those fucking cheekbones. It was like,
Yeah.
do those hurt? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
And I'm wondering if part of that was makeup at all, because I know they were trying to make him look really tired. And
Felicity Jones is great in this movie.
Yeah.
Better in this than in Rogue One.
she had more of a character.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly 100% it.
Sigourney Weaver was fantastic.
That took some getting used to.
The British accent.
Yeah.
Like, I'll admit, the first couple scenes, I was just like, why couldn't they have gotten someone British?
I was thinking that too. Look, I'm not an expert here. I don't know if she's doing a good accent.
It didn't seem like a bad accent, but you're so used to Sigourney Weaver.
Exactly.
Like, for your entire life, not doing accents.
And so because of that, I don't know if this is the case, but because of that, I don't know if she's cast in this movie because the filmmakers are just huge fans of hers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like you've got a group of filmmakers, like, we want to do a movie. Who do we love? Oh, we love Sigourney Weaver. Let's put her in this, even though it's kind of miscast, honestly.
I don't think it was miscast. It took some use. Took me a minute to get used to the accent. But other than that, like, she was age appropriate.
Well, okay, she's age appropriate, but if you have to get used to this performance on screen, then it's kind of miscast.
But that's the thing too. It's one of those things that's more our perceptions of as people that watch a shit ton of movies with Sigourney Weaver in it.
Yeah, but you could be somebody who hasn't seen a shit ton of movies and you know who Sigourney Weaver is.
Yeah, but I still think she did a
I'm not saying
great
she
job.
did bad. I'm not.
By the end of the movie, I didn't even think about it. I just
No, because there's some heavy shit going on at the end of this movie.
and she nails the emotional part.
No, she does. She absolutely does. But the fact that you kind of have to get used to that to the point to where it's something that's taking you out of the movie.
It didn't. I just had a brief moment of like, huh, like,
Yeah.
but it didn't take me out of the movie at all. It was just kind of like, I've never seen her do that before. Okay,
Sure.
that's what it was for me.
It could be a lot worse.
It could be a whole lot worse.
Fucking worse. But I'm sort of like you. I'm like, well, what you said a second ago, which is like they could have maybe just gotten somebody British to play this part.
Easily could have.
Yeah.
And they could be huge Sigourney Weaver fans, and it could be Sigourney Weaver really wanted to do this movie.
Or maybe she was better than the other people who auditioned.
and
that could totally be it.
And that's, it's... And this movie, like, yes, you have Liam Neeson doing the voice of the monster,
Yeah.
but there's no other real star power in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
I really like that. Who's the actor who plays the dad?
I don't know, but he was great.
He's great, and he's an actor who...
I've seen him in other shit.
He's in other shit, and he's one of those guys who it's like, I want this guy to really take off, but he unfortunately kind of... This movie aside, because this movie is getting great reviews, like, he's in Ben-Hur, the new one, where it's like, man, dude, like, man, I want you to end up in something that really puts you out there.
It's kind of like how I felt about, like, Joel Edgerton for a while. It's like, come on, motherfucker, make a good one.
Or Barry Pepper.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, God damn it, Barry Pepper, I love you. Why are your best performances your first 4 movies and then a bunch of TV shit?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you make another good movie?
Yeah, dude, totally, exactly. But I mean, maybe this will do something then, because like I don't know how this will do at the box office, but it's getting solid reviews. But another,
and he got a weird role. He's definitely like absentee weekend dad, but he's not a bad dude. He's honest.
He's doing what he can, given the fact that he lives in another country.
Yeah.
But my thing about this movie, and it's one thing I was having why this movie wasn't, one of the reasons this movie wasn't really clicking for me that much was the acting in terms of the kid is fine. I really honestly did not like this kid that much. The character.
No, he wasn't. Well,
I'm like,
he was a little shit, but you know what? At the same time, and I think one of the reasons maybe the movie clicked with me was, you know, when I was that age, I went through some rough shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I really wish this movie existed when I was fucking 10 years old. And I would have fucking watched this every goddamn day.
Yeah.
My mom didn't die. My mom's alive. I just want to clear that up. I just went through some shit.
Yeah. And honestly, like, while I was watching this movie and while I was thinking in my head that I'm not really enjoying this, there was never a part of me that was this isn't like Collateral Beauty. Like, there was never a part of me where I was thinking, like, I would never recommend this I would never recommend this to somebody going through grief. In my head, I was thinking, like, maybe if someone is in this kid's position, like, they could probably, they could get much more out of this movie than I could. Which is not the case with Collateral Beauty. Like that was a movie I was like, but also, I saw another movie Manchester by the Sea, which also deals with grief, which I thought was a way goddamn better movie than this. The movies are night and day in terms of other things.
Well, and I mean, and I didn't see that with you because I was unavailable that day.
It was the holidays, man. Like,
and I really want to see that movie. But at the same time, it's like you also just saw a really good movie about grief and a really shitty movie about grief.
And this one is somewhere right in the middle.
And this is your third one. So it's also one of those burnout things too, maybe. Like, because I know you're objective to a fault, but I love superhero movies. And if I watch 3 in a week, the third one, I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore. I've seen it.
I don't know if I'm objective to a fault. Have you seen my list of favorite movies?
When you know what I mean.
I do.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You're objective to your taste.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so my thing with this kid, where it was like, I get it, man. I mean, you're getting bullied at school. You are going through some shit. But there was a little too much in the way of, like, temper tantrums, not having respect for anyone, not really caring that much for anyone other than his mom, of course, not caring about anyone else's feelings, really. His almost Veruca Salt-esque temper tantrums in this, it got to be much. Like, it got to be to the point to where it's like, your movie, it's reaching the point where I'm not feeling bad for a kid who is going through this. I'm feeling bad for everyone else in the movie, Sigourney Weaver, the dad, and other people, because they have to go through losing an ex-wife, losing Sigourney Weaver's daughter, and also this nightmare of a kid.
Well, and that's, to me, that's kind of what the crux of the movie is about.
No, that
is what a nightmare it is to be a kid and deal with grief. And I think that's the reason I connected, because I dealt with this shit. And when you're 9, 10 years old and you're dealing with something that heavy, the instinct is to, immediately blame yourself for it.
Yeah.
Which is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And what you do is you lash out because you want someone to punish you.
And that's true. And I get that that's the
intention. And I can completely understand people who haven't dealt with that on one aspect or the other, not grasping onto that like I do, because that was my experience.
No, totally. And I absolutely understand that that's the point of this movie. Yeah. I mean, it flat out says it.
It says it, yeah.
It's not a hidden message. No, it flat out says it.
This movie has no hidden messages.
But it was too much. Like, I'm still having to spend 90 minutes, 2 hours with this character. It was a little much in the areas of lashing out in temper tantrums, and not enough of anything to make me feel empathy. Like, it was 100% acting out like that, and not enough of anything else but that. So you can obviously do a story like this with the same things that this kid is going through, with the same lashing out and all of that, but that's all it was.
See, I thought there was more to it than that, but
that's all it was in terms of how this kid is acting through the movie. There wasn't enough moments in this that made me like him that much, other than just the bad part of what he's going through. Even when he retaliates against the bully, I had seen so much of this kid acting psycho through this movie that when that happened with the bully, the way it came across to me was more so like this kid is one bad thing away from like this movie ending with a shooting or something.
Well, and sadly, yeah.
I get that, but I still have to spend 2 hours with this character.
I completely understand. Like, I really do. Like, I would not judge anyone for not seeing this movie the way I do, because it's. I went through some shit, people.
Yeah.
Brad knows I don't talk about it much. I don't hide it, but I went through some shit.
No, yeah, we've known each other literally since he was born.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, we've been best friends that long, and so I completely get why people would like this movie. I absolutely 100% do. I understand why critics liked it. I understand why critics like it. I understand why you do. I totally get it. It was there was just some things about it that I just didn't.
And
I don't know.
I completely understand that, because I could, if somebody went and watched this movie and came to me and they're like, I fucking hated it, I would just go, right on. I know why.
I didn't hate this movie.
I know you didn't, but if someone said that to me, I'd be like, and I know why, and I understand, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Because also another thing too, like before I forget, like when you're not really 100% invested in what's going on in this, meaning like I was never loving this movie or really even liking it all that much. The monster, when he shows up, he tells you everything that's going to happen in the movie. Yeah. He comes out and says, I'm going to give you these stories. You're going to have this moment at the end. He tells you it's like, I understand a movie like this isn't supposed to have twists in it necessarily,
based on a kid's book.
Yeah, like it's not really supposed to be an unpredictable film, but it is a very predictable film.
Oh yeah,
because the character comes out and tells you everything that's about to happen, and when you're not 100% really on board with this movie, you are. In my case, I was sitting there going, okay, when's the next thing gonna happen? And now when's the next thing gonna happen that he said was gonna happen? So it's sort of like you've already kind of outlined this maze that you're going through, and I'm sort of just waiting to get to the end.
So, and I'll admit, there was one point in the movie where I was really disappointed. Like
in this movie?
Yes, where I was honestly disappointed. Because he says, I'm going to tell you these 3 stories. And I didn't expect it, so the first story he's telling him, and that animation starts, and I was just gobsmacked by it.
Well, that was great.
And then the second one. And then he gets to the third story, and there's no fucking animation, and I was like, God damn it!
Dude, seriously, I thought I missed something. Like
I did too.
I thought, like, because I had to go to the bathroom a couple of times, so I was like, I was only in there for like 10 seconds.
No, yeah, his third story was just very brief, and that's when he beats the shit out of the kid. It's just like, but I wanted like another beautiful animated sequence.
Something had to get cut from the budget.
Yeah. Or that's the way it is in the book, and I've
never read it, man.
Well, and that's kind of the problem sometimes of going into like an adaptation, and it could be a very loose adaptation for all I fucking know, but with no knowledge of, the thing.
Right. Do you highly recommend this movie?
I highly recommend. I thought it was an amazing movie, but at the same time, it's one of those things that like, it is a stone cold bummer Like, don't go
Sure.
see this to have fun.
Sure.
Like, this is a stone cold bummer, and if I think this is one of those movies that's it's gonna have a following for a long time. So,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going anywhere. It's not gonna be in the theaters very long.
Who knows?
yeah.
I don't know.
But it's one of those things that, like, if it sounds like something that you'd enjoy or it would do you some good or could be cathartic for someone you know, then absolutely go see it. But
I took more to Manchester by the Sea than this film, even in terms of its characters and its writing
Casey
and
Affleck,
everything.
who's a fucking treasure.
Oh yeah, and both movies have a character that's going through a loss of a family member. In that movie, it's the kid's dad, and in this movie, it's the kid's mom. And I thought Manchester by the Sea did that a lot better and a lot more three-dimensional than this film.
Well, how old is the kid in Manchester by the Sea?
That's another thing too.
He's
like
an older-
he's like 17.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fully formed person.
Yeah,
you know.
Mhm. and honestly, and
Yeah.
tonally, they're both wildly different
Yeah.
movies. It's just there. I mean, look, whether you choose this or Manchester by the Sea, you're getting off way better than fucking Collateral Beauty. Gee, fucking Christ. So in terms of me, of my own, of how I feel about this movie, my own tastes, whatever. I would put this for me. Like, I would put this as a rental, but like you said, like if you're really taking to what you've seen of this movie, to the plot, and you think you could really identify with this film and the themes and everything that's going on in it, you'll get a lot more out of this movie than I necessarily would.
For the everyday viewer, I would say, yeah, this is a rental. Like, this isn't a necessary theater experience. Although I would like to see this movie make money, because I don't even know who directed this movie, but I thought it was so beautifully directed. I'd like to see that person make more movies.
It is. It's a good looking movie. It's a really good looking film. So I would personally put it at a rental, but like I wouldn't begrudge somebody who wants to go see it in theaters necessarily. That's just more so my take from it. I mean, look, it's gonna be better than Underworld Blood Wars.
Watch that be like the best movie of the fucking year.
Watch that movie also be about grief. She loses her fucking werewolf boyfriend or what the fuck ever. I don't know.
I think he was gone after the second movie.
He dies. I think he died at the beginning of the fourth one, and it wasn't Scott Speedman. They had to get a stand-in or some shit.
I just, like, Sarah and I just moved, and, like, so while I'm packing shit, she was watching movies holding the baby, because that is a full-time fucking position. And she watched Underworld. And I was like, I forgot this movie was really dumb, but kind of fun.
I barely remember the first. I remember all of those movies going in one ear and out the other.
Oh, no, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you the plot of it, and we just watched most of it a few days ago.
The first one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the first one probably holds up better than... I don't know if it holds up, but I'm sure it's better, easier to sit through than the sequels.
Yeah.
Although, wait, I do remember kind of getting some, like, fun enjoyment out of the prequel movie, The Rise of the Lycans, the one with a lot of Michael Sheen in it.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, Michael Sheen's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's claiming he's retaring from acting.
No, he
so
said...
sad.
No, he clarified that. Like, and so did commenters too when we brought that up. No, he is, like, kind of gonna be a little more politically active, but he's still gonna act.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, right, dude. The world needs Michael Sheen.
It really does. Because every time he's on screen, it's just like, all right, guys, get ready. He's fucking batting for the fences.
All right, well, I got it before the battery runs out. I got to head in and see Hidden Figures.
I'm going the fuck
He's
home.
going home. See ya.
Bye, guys.